Welcome to our 14th edition of Drive Chat. As you well know, this is an initiative by MasterDrive to engage with industry experts and have their views on what happens in their industry. This one, of course, we're focusing particularly on road safety during the festive season. And the person that we're going to be talking to in a few moments is Nabeel Osman, who is the marketing manager for Goodyear South Africa. So let's invite him to join us and let's share some thoughts on what we can do during the festive season. Nabeel, welcome. It's so nice of you to join us. We haven't seen you for a while on screen, okay? So would you just tell us a bit about what you do at Goodyear so we can lend some context to it?
Sure. Eugene, thanks so much for having me on the program as well. It's really good to be able to have to speak to people about tires and tire safety and bringing awareness to the category. And in a nutshell, that is essentially what I do. So as the marketing manager for Goodyear South Africa, what we try and do is try and bring some emotion through to the tire category. We of course got a plethora of products that we do bring to the market, but it's also trying to match those products with the personality that will be using them. So when we try and personify tires, people look at us a bit weird, but we try and make the category as creative and as emotive as we possibly can so we can resonate with our users.
Wow. Okay, so you've really got a big job ahead of you. Now, we've had the opportunity of engaging with the tire industry over the last while, and I must just tell you that I really think that you guys do a pretty good job collectively. But this is more about what Goodyear does. Please share with us some of the safety initiatives that you get involved in throughout the year.
Sure. So we do work with a number of partners. We've got some really good collaborations going on with a few of our sponsorship partners. But I also have to highlight some of the work that the SATMC does, and we collaborate with them together. So in those instances, we bring forward tire safety, not just to the end consumers, but also just to our safety officials. So when it comes down to government officials, fleets, and other organizations, it's also just to educate them on the category. And then hopefully they cascade that down through to their respective markets as well.
Okay. All right, so you've indicated that you do collaborate. So how does collaboration with these other institutions work for you? What benefits does it bring to you and the collective message that we're sharing?
I mean, look, today, case in point. I mean, if you have to take a look at it, to be invited by MasterDrive to also try and take this message out to the end consumers is quite important to us. But we do work with a few other partners as well, but including yourselves, on initiatives where we can take safety messages through to the end consumers. So as I mentioned earlier on, the tire purchasing cycle or the buying category is generally a grudge purchase. People don't generally put a lot of thought or enthusiasm into making the sale. But at the end of the day, we do understand that this is the contact patch between the ground and your vehicle. So the emphasis that you need to do this, not just for yourself, but also for your family, is quite important. Working with people like MasterDrive gives us that opportunity to bring that message across. While we can have fancy videos on our websites and social media, it's people like you and the teams out there that are actually putting in the hard graft, taking these messages to end consumers and trying to make it part of their daily lives, which again for us is enriching, especially since of the fact that we've got associates that are driving on Goodyear tires as well who manufacture locally. These messages as well will resonate within them as well.
Okay, great. I must just mention, and if you care to elaborate, please do so. Those tests that you did at Geritic a while ago, that was the SATMC. And I think the one thing that stood out for me, difference between two tires, a worn tire, a badly worn tire, and a good tire, the stopping distance, and we were using our Ford Mustangs there, virtually doubled when the tire was worn. Any comments on what tests like that do to impress upon road users the importance of choosing good tires?
So there's a host of information on our Goodyear website as well if people wanted to read further. But more importantly though, and I always emphasize this with anybody that I speak to within tires, is are you confident enough to take your vehicle at 120 kilometers around a bend and say that, you know what, the contact patch again between the ground and my vehicle is going to keep me safe? Then okay, cool, you trust your tire. But ask ourselves how many of us can actually say that. And when we go to our tires today, it's important to go through and look at the tread depth. Take a look at the way that the tire is looking, because that is essentially the determining factor of what you could be potentially producing on the road.
Okay, if I can just conclude, we shared some interesting stats yesterday at the Road Safety Summit, and the one thing that came clear, and I trust that the viewers will look at this and say, just the simple thing: please check your tires regularly, and before you go on a long trip, check them when they're cold. Don't go to Van Rienen and check the tire pressure over there, because then the petrol pump attendant is going to look at it and it's going to be high and he's going to reduce it. So please act responsibly. And if you go to a reputable tire dealer, they will ensure that the tire pressures are correct. So that, along with many other road safety tips, emanating from the conference that we held a little while ago, and Nabeel, you were there, on our website, www.masterdrive.co. There's many safety tips over there. So in addition to what you can source from Goodyear, please have a look at the site. There's some really good things that we can share. Last thing, your message for road users, and in fact, anyone during this festive season where we know we have many fatalities.
So yeah, my message to everybody is to really have a good festive season, enjoy it with your friends and family. But more importantly, since I'm in the tire category, pop over to your local tire retailer. Ask him to take a look at your tires as well. And again, as I said, it's not just for you, it's for your family and also for the safety of other drivers out there. But thanks so much, Eugene. I appreciate it.
So Nabeel, to you and the Goodyear family, we say thank you very much and have a good festive season, and we'll see you in the new year. So with that, we say goodbye to Nabeel Osman, who is the marketing manager for Goodyear South Africa. Nabeel, have a good one.
Thank you, Eugene. Cheers. Bye.
Take care. And that, folks, brings us to a conclusion of Drive Chat number 14. And we trust that when you read this, and it will be before the festive season, you take to heart the safety tips that have been shared with you. With that, have a safe season. Bye-bye.